Hello everyone, welcome back to my knitting podcast. My name is Polly and I'm a knitter based in Tokyo, Japan. So excited to have you back. Happy New Year to everyone. This is my first podcast of the new year, so yeah, we had a lovely Christmas. Christmas isn't, it's not really a big thing. It's not a holiday here in Japan. People do celebrate it, but it's more kind of for, funnily enough, Christmas in Japan is more kind of like a couple's sort of romantic holiday. At least Christmas Eve is. It's traditionally the day when you take your girlfriend or boyfriend out on like a very fancy date. Yeah, and then Christmas Day, usually in Japan, it's more celebrated by families with small children. So, Santa might visit the little kids. But yeah, it's just a normal working day. So if it happens to be, I think this year it was Sunday, right? But if it happens to be like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you will find yourself at work unless you take that day off. So yeah, I'm lucky enough to work now for a British company, so they are very understanding about, wanting to take Christmas off or have some time off at the end of the year. So I was fortunate enough to have that option. So I had a lovely break. I took about 2 weeks off, which was lovely. My poor husband was working up until the last day of the year, which is the 28th of December, and then he had about a week off. So yeah, we did get to spend some time together, but mostly it was me kind of having a lot of crafting time. So I spent a lot of time knitting, and yeah, I've got some good stuff to show you. So let's get on with it. All right, I'm going to start with the finished objects, as always. So I think in the last episode, I mentioned that I was working on socks. So as you guys know, if you've watched any of the previous episodes, I traditionally had a lot of trouble knitting socks that fit, so kind of on a bit of a journey to, I really just want to try out a lot of different sock recipes, patterns, sorry, and just kind of get the hang of like different types of heel, different construction methods, and just see like what fits best for me, what I can, make feel the most comfortable. So the first one that I tried was the vanilla, what is it? The vanilla sock pattern. Hold on, let me just look at my notes. Oh, it's just called Vanilla Socks. And this is by the Crazy Sock Lady. So in the last episode, I was in the middle of doing 2 purple socks. Oops. I have now finished these. They are great. Yeah, really good pattern. Thank you for everyone who recommended the Crazy Sock Lady. This yarn is this is by an indie dyer that's based here in Japan. I only know that the shop itself is called Rodeo Yarns, so I buy her yarn through the app Mercari, which is like a selling app, like a flea market type of thing. But she sells her yarn on there, so occasionally I will see that she's put up some new things and then I'll buy some. This is her sock yarn. I think she only does sock yarn actually. Sorry, I don't know why I assume it's a woman. Could be a man, don't know. But yeah, so I just used that. I haven't worn these a crazy amount yet, maybe a 2 or 3 times. I am hand washing them at the moment. I think it probably would be okay in the washing machine, but I just haven't, I don't know, tried it out yet. I'm not sure why, but anyway, because I'm hand washing them, it does take me a little while to get around to washing them and blocking them and drying them or whatever. But yeah, happy with these so far. I don't know how this yarn is going to hold up over time. It is a little bit already, it looks like it's slightly, this is the bottom of the sock, sorry. It's slightly like faded a little bit at the top, but we'll see. It's okay if they don't last, forever and ever. These socks, I mean, they're more just sort of a practice for me, just kind of getting more used to making socks in general. And also just making socks for myself, because I usually have in the past only made them for my mum. So yeah, I think one of the things that's important, I think, is probably this year to make socks for myself and just to see how they feel on, see how they wear, and that will help me kind of make better socks in the future for other people as well. Because you know, when you, for example, if you're cooking something, you don't just give it away without tasting it. Like you've got to taste it and then see how, you know, how it is and make sure it all tastes good. And I've kind of not done that the correct way up until now. So yeah, I need to make socks for myself, wear them, see how they, you know, go. And that will help me, you know, choose better yarn, choose better patterns, whatever. Anyway, sorry, I'm rambling a little bit, but these are my vanilla socks. Um, yeah, great pattern, very basic, very standard. We'll probably maybe make more, but yeah, maybe I won't actually, because I do want to sort of branch out and try different things. So these are good. I'm gonna put them down there. And then after that, I kind of went on a bit of a sock binge. I think I was just very happy to have made socks that actually fit. Although I will say that those purple ones do kind of bunch a little bit at the ankles. So I did make them in the smallest size, but even so, they are, I think I've got quite like slim feet, like narrow feet. And yeah, even in, I think it's 56 stitch cast on, they were still, they were fine on the length of my foot, but around the ankles they're a bit loose. So anyway, after I finished those, I went, like I say, on a little bit of a sock binge. I decided to make matching Christmas socks for my husband and me. So this one is mine, this one is his. My size is, this is the same pattern, so it's Vanilla Socks by the Crazy Sock Lady. And this one is cast on 56 and this one is 64, I think. This one is the smallest and this one's medium anyway. And this yarn is, what is it? It is West Yorkshire Spinners Signature 4-ply, and this is in the color Hollyberry. Yes. So I saw on that app, Mercari, I saw that someone was selling like a set. So they had this skein of yarn, the Hollyberry, and then they had just 50-gram balls of the red and the green together with the skein of the Hollyberry. And I just thought that would be like the perfect little kit to make some Christmas socks. So this was just before Christmas. I made these probably around, I don't know, maybe around up to, I think I'm finished Arthur's on the day of Christmas, so yeah, I must have finished mine maybe a few days before that, and then I started his, and I was just kind of, it was a bit stressful actually. I wouldn't recommend doing that. Definitely, I do like this idea. I think it's very cute to have like matching Christmas socks with your, you know, your partner or whoever. So I might do this again, but I would definitely give myself more time because yeah, it was a little bit stressful trying to get his done on the day of. Because you know, once Christmas has gone by, it's kind of, well, there's that little like interlude in between, but once you get to around like the 29th, you know, it's really not Christmas anymore. So yeah, I really wanted to get them done in time. But yes, so I just used the contrasting wool. I don't actually know what this is, probably just some standard sock yarn, maybe opal or something like that. And I just used that for the cuff, the heel and the toe. Nothing really to say particular about these apart from the fact that I decided, because of the sort of bagginess around the ankles on the purple ones, I decided to do 2x2 rib. I like the look of the 2x2 rib on socks, and I just took it all the way down almost to the top of the heel. I thought that might help, but it didn't help as much. It's a little bit better, but it doesn't help that much. So yeah, I don't know, I might look into, I was inspired to, had a Google around for like homemade socks that fall down, and it was an article about putting some elastic in, so I did try that. So I sometimes sew, so I already had this, what do you call it? I don't know what you call this, elastic thread type thing. So you use this in your sewing machine when you make shirring, so it's a kind of fabric that's sort of all bunched up together and then it stretches out. This is the kind of thread that you use for that. I just decided to sort of loosely sew it in around the top of the sock, just as an experiment really. I mean, I can easily take this out if it's uncomfortable. I just wanted to see if it worked a little bit better. I'm not sure if it had that much difference, to be honest. Maybe it's not tight enough. I was a little bit worried about it feeling constricting, so I didn't want to do it too tightly. But yeah, no, I'm gonna leave this in here and just sort of, I haven't worn these a lot because again, I need to hand wash them and I just haven't got around to it. But also it's not Christmas anymore. But I will still wear these, I think. But yeah, we'll see. I might have a go at sort of making a folded over cuff, sort of, and then sewing in like a more substantial bit of elastic, not huge, but like maybe half a centimeter wide, just around the top of the sock, and then just see how that feels too. I just want to kind of experiment with that because I was a little bit, the thing about homemade socks is they don't stay up as well as store-bought socks, so I just wanted to try that out. But yes, these are my Christmas socks. I'm very happy with these. They're very cute. It was nice to have like a matching pair with Arthur. Yeah. Anyway, I don't feel like making the vanilla sock pattern again for a little while now that I've made 3 in a row, so yeah, that is that. Oh, I forgot to say, sorry. So the West Yorkshire Spinners, I only had 1 skein of this and I managed to make 2 pairs of socks, 4 socks in total. So I think I did a good job on this. What I did was I just split the yarn. First of all, I made 2 50-gram balls and then I split each of those into 25 grams each. I knew I probably wouldn't need that much for mine, but I just wasn't, I've never weighed out my socks properly, like the amount of yarn that I used before, so I just wanted to be safe, and I made mine first so that in case I needed to use some of the extra leftover in these ones, but actually it was fine. They both used less than 25 for each sock, so yeah, that's totally doable in case anyone is wondering about that. And then I just had the little like 50-gram, that was just about enough for the cuff, the heel, and the toe. Actually, no, I probably have a little bit left over, but there wasn't as much as I thought, so yeah. Or maybe I only had 25 each. Anyway, yeah, that seems like not very much, but sorry, I can't remember exactly, but anyway, it wasn't a lot, but it was just enough. So yeah, but you definitely can make like 2 pairs of socks out of 1 skein if you really want to, especially if you're using contrasting details. But yeah, that was fun. Next up, here is my, what is this called? Holly sweater. The holly sweater, it's very cute. I spoke about this in the last one. I had just finished, I think it was just on the bottom of the body. Hadn't done the arms yet, and I wasn't sure about it because it felt very small. It does still feel a little bit small, like the collarwork is pretty tight. I won't go into sort of too much detail about this because I did speak about it quite a bit then, but basically one of my main issues was the increases are quite visible in the yarn choice that I chose. So I'm just going to hold this up, hopefully you can see it's quite visible like around here, and I didn't like that too much. It's not too bad on this side actually. Is it? Maybe. Oh no, it's not too bad on this side. Anyway, I think the main issue is the choice of the yarn that I chose. So this sort of grey, slightly bluish colour is it's Hamanaka. Oh no, it's not, sorry. It's Olympus Milky Baby. So this is a Japanese brand yarn. It's 60% wool and 40% acrylic. It's marketed specifically for baby stuff. I mean, it's called Milky Baby, so like it's in the name, but I think it's supposed to be sort of easily washable. You know, if there's a bit of an accident, it's fine. It's not going to ruin it. So that's why I chose this, and also I didn't want to sort of spend a fortune. It's not too expensive. It's actually very cheap. But yeah, it is it's quite sort of a slinky, maybe not slinky, but it's sort of slippery. No, maybe not slippery. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Sorry. It's not rustic for sure. But yeah, anyway, it really does show like where I've had sort of changes in tension the increases, decreases. So I was a little disappointed about that, but I think actually after blocking, well, it's okay. Like you definitely can see it, like here, this section in particular. But I think it's fine. I think I just need to not focus on like minute details like that and just look at the thing as a whole, because as a whole I think it is very cute. It's very sweet. I am happy with this. I think in the last episode I said that I was going to give this to my friend, but I wasn't able to meet them in the end because we were supposed to meet up before Christmas so that I could. Then I was going to give them this. But unfortunately they came down with the flu. We weren't able to meet up until after Christmas, and then it just felt a little bit weird to give like a very Christmassy sweater. So I think I'm going to put this in my, it's definitely not going to go to waste. I'm going to put it in my stash, which I do not have anything else in. So this will be the first item in there. But just a little, I think I might start a little collection of smaller sort of baby junior items that I can give either to my own baby in the future or to friends who have a baby or anything like that, just so that it's not, if I'm too busy to make something, I still have something available. I think that would be very useful. I'm at that age where people are starting to get married, have children, whatever. So yeah, this will definitely will find a home. It just didn't manage to find one just this year. It just wasn't the right timing, but yeah, this definitely will find a very happy recipient one day. Maybe next year. Let's see, what else do I have? Oh, I made an Oslo hat. So this is an Oslo hat. This pattern is by Petite Knit. I made this in Knitting for Olive Merino in Dusty Artichoke, and I think I used almost 2 balls of this. I held the yarn double, and the size is junior, or maybe I think it was like a double size, maybe like junior / women's small. So I originally cast this on in the largest size, or did I? No, I originally cast it on, I think, in that size, but with larger needles. So I ended up using 2.5 needles for this, which I can't remember off the top of my head if that's what the pattern recommends. I think I accidentally looked at so there's 2 Oslo hat patterns. One of them is just regular, and one of them is with mohair. And I think I was accidentally looking at the with mohair pattern, and I think that one definitely uses 2.5 millimeter, which is funny because I don't actually own that pattern. I own the regular one, but for some reason I think I was looking at the wrong one. Here it is. So this isn't actually for me, it's for my husband, because I originally made him a Pearl Soho's classic ribbed hat, and it was way too big. It was way too long, it was way too big, it just wasn't fitting him very well at all. So I said to him, I'll make you another hat, choose what color you like. He chose this one, and he's wearing it all the time, which is great. I'm so happy. He really likes it, because I was worried, when you make someone something not great and then you try again, and if it's not better at least, then it's just so awkward when you like give someone something and they're like, oh, thank you, and they have to pretend to like it. And anyway, that wasn't the case. He does really like this one. It fits really well. I was a bit worried that it wouldn't fit very well when I first finished it, because like I said, I did make the junior size, but I think with this yarn combination it was totally fine. It did feel like it might be a little bit snug, but with blocking it became totally like completely right size. So I think, yeah, this yarn, if you block it, it will sort of grow a little bit, and it was just the perfect amount to make it just right for his head. He does have quite a small head, so for this pattern the only modification I made was to knit it a little bit. I didn't knit it quite as long as the pattern said. So I think in the photos you can see sometimes it's quite tall on the head, and Arthur doesn't like that at all. So I wanted to make sure that this was quite close to his head. There would be no sort of fabric up here, because that was the issue with the other hat as well, the Pearl Soho one. So the way that you knit it is, actually probably everyone knows because this pattern is so popular. I'm sure everyone has probably heard of it now, but where do you start off? Well, you can kind of see here, but like if I unfold the brim, there's like another bit of like stocking it down here. And so what you do is you start up here, you knit, 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 or maybe it's from the other side, whatever. And then you fold it over and knit more, and then you sort of turn it. Oh, sorry, this is a bad explanation. I've kind of forgotten which way you start off from. Anyway, so ends up being like triple folded. So there's like this double folded bit, and then this bit here. So it's like a triple layer there. So it's very warm. He said that it's really keeping his ears very warm, so that's really great. And yeah, like after you get to like this section here, then you knit up to the actual hat part, not the brim. And yeah, so after you turn here, I knit for 13 centimeters in length total. That was based on some reports from what other people had made on their projects on Ravelry, and it seemed to fit them well. So I went for that too. It was great. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna make one of these for myself. I might make it a little bit longer. He seems to like the brim. So the brim is actually, oh sorry, the brim is quite long, but I think he likes it sort of folds in a little bit more than you think it will do. So I might make the brim actually a little bit longer, even though it's huge anyway. Anyway, yeah, I really want to make one of these for myself with mohair though, so that will be, I think I'll be making that project probably around springtime, maybe. Yes. Anyway, also hat, big success. Very glad. Very glad I finally managed to give him a hat that he likes, so that's nice. Okay, my last FO from the Christmas period is a pair of fingerless gloves. So here they are. I wasn't originally planning to make it with like actual finger bits, but once I started, I kind of just felt like trying this out. I also felt like it would be warmer, so let me just put this on. There you go. So this pattern was originally inspired by a pattern that I already had in my library called Cream. So Cream is a pattern by Emily Lewis, and that actual pattern, it doesn't have the finger parts on it. It sort of ends around here, and it's just flat with no sort of finger separation. And that's originally what I was going to do, but yeah, when I was knitting it, like I said, I just kind of got inspired. I wanted to try it out. I've never made gloves with fingers before, so this was totally new kind of construction for me. And I guess I just wanted to try it out, see how it worked. So I just searched in Ravelry for like a free, like proper glove pattern, and then I looked through that pattern to see how they were separating for the fingers, and just kind of followed that in this once I got to that area. The yarn that I've used for this is, let's see, so the mohair I've got two strands. One is mohair, which is Rowan's Kids Silk Haze, and the colorway is 686 Luster. It's very soft, it's nice, no complaints about that. And I'm holding it with, so this is just some like random Japanese yarn that I found. It's from Nikkei Victor, and it's called Pure Alpaca. Apparently this is discontinued, but I've only bought it like last month, so I don't know whether they just had like old stock there. I just bought it from like a regular craft store here in Japan. It's in the colorway 53, which is sort of this like beige color. I still have plenty of both left. So that was more than enough to make both of these. Right, so let's see. I'm not totally like sold on these. I thought they would be like super warm and nice, but the thing about it is I didn't really think about like the weight of the yarn, so I'm not actually sure like what this works up to, like the mohair and the alpaca. But hold on, let me see. The alpaca itself is a sport weight held with a lace weight, so I don't know what that makes. Probably some people out there more familiar with yarn weights will be able to tell me, but it's a little bit bulky around my fingers. So because you've got a lot of like fabric like here and like, you know, I do feel that bulk when I have them on. So like between my fingers, like it's quite a lot of like thickness there. What I made this for originally was mostly I just wanted to have a pair of sort of fingerless gloves that I could use whilst I'm at work. It can get very chilly. My hands are always freezing basically, and I just wanted something to wear whilst I'm typing away, to keep my hands warm. But I actually think that after wearing these, I feel like it makes my hands feel a little bit like more colder to have the finger part on it. I don't know, it's kind of weird. Like this part gets even colder, I feel like. And also just the bulk makes it feel a little bit like I don't know, it's just a little uncomfortable. So I'm thinking about whether I should rip back, just kind of cut this bit off and then just pick up the stitches again and just knit like a regular, an ending that doesn't separate the fingers. I might do that, but I think first of all I'm just gonna wear them a few more times whilst I'm working and just see how I feel, whether it's actually worth doing that. I haven't worn them very much during work yet, but I do have a feeling that I would wear them more if I got rid of this finger bit. Another issue with them is that the thumb gusset doesn't quite start in the right place. So sorry, let me just put them on again. So if I pull them down so that this bit is at the top of my finger, this thumb just looks a little bit bulky. I don't know, not quite in the right place. This should be a little bit further down. And I think because this part isn't very long, I don't know, something about it just doesn't sit right with me. Especially if I don't pull them on like all the way, then it ends up around here and like that's way too high. Yeah, I don't know, I would like it a bit if these were a little bit more well defined. Maybe I should have either made this a little bit longer or started the thumb gusset a little bit further down or knitted this part a little bit longer. I think probably that would be the easiest way to fix this issue. So in the future, if I do make some fingerless gloves again, definitely I will knit this part a little bit longer than I think. Yeah, but I think like as a learning exercise, this was quite good. As I say, I had never made anything quite as involved as this. It was very fiddly, kind of. So I did magic loop for these, and then it's only like, I don't know, 10, 15 stitches or whatever on each finger, and it is a lot of, you have to cut the yarn a lot and you have to sew it up, all these little holes, so it's a little bit annoying. Not sure if I'll be in a rush to make anything like this again, but I am glad to have done this, know how the construction works. Yeah, they are very soft, they're very warm, like my hand is so warm now after having just worn it for like 5 minutes. But yeah, I'm not disappointed with these, but just a little, they're just not quite what I imagined. So yeah, like I say, good experience. I've learned some things from it, so I think that's okay. And yeah, if I do end up cutting these off, I'll let you know. We'll see. I feel like once you finish a project, or in your mind it's kind of like ticked off as being finished, then it's very hard to like go back and try to make changes to it. but we'll see. Maybe. Okay, that's all of my finished objects. So I felt like I hadn't actually managed to make that much over Christmas despite having so much time. But I think after now just like showing that to you, it is more than I thought. So that's good. I'm glad about that. Let's move on to works in progress because this is the most exciting one for me. In the last one, I showed you guys a big. Actually, no, I didn't show you the packet, but I had a huge sort of parcel full of yarn that had arrived from Denmark, and it is knitting for Olive. And what I'm using for, I finally cast it on, and it is my Ingrid sweater. I finally cast it on. I love this thing. God, it's working out really fast. So I cast this on December 31st. Sorry, this is the Ingrid sweater by Petite Knit. Probably a lot of people already know that, but just in case. And I'm knitting this up in Knitting for Olive merino, and also heavy merino in the color navy, and also soft silk mohair. Yes, soft silk mohair in navy. So I have 12 balls of the heavy merino and 6 balls of the mohair. Hopefully that is enough. I'm knitting size size S. I was originally going to make a size M because I really want it to be slightly oversized. On my gauge swatch, I was a little bit, now is it over or under? I think I was hitting slightly less stitches per row than I was supposed to, which means that my stitches were bigger than hers. So I decided with that in mind I would go for the S still, instead of the M, because it's probably going to come out a little bit bigger anyway. So yes, this is the S. As you can see, it's actually quite massive. I think it'll be absolutely fine. I haven't actually tried this on, but I do hope that it's a little bit oversized. We'll see. I think with blocking as well, that will help it, because it's a little bit like bunched up now with like this slightly like ribbed bits and all that. So excuse all the ends hanging out. I haven't woven in anything yet. So as you can see, I haven't done the collar yet. I'm still on the body. I'm quite a good ways. This is a lot of progress. Like I said, I cast it on December 31st, and then I went back to work on the 5th of December. So I had a good sort of 5 days or so of a good amount of knitting during the day. Although I did find that I think because the fabric is working out, like it's fairly dense with the heavy merino and the mohair, and some of the stitch patterns do involve like quite sort of a lot of twisting of your wrists. So I did find it a little bit painful, or maybe not painful, but sort of, I did make my hands like ache a little bit at times. Now it's long enough that it sort of sits on my lap, so there's less weight on my wrists, and it is a little bit easier now, but it's also quite, because it's so large, there's a lot of like moving around, and you gotta shift the stitches along the needles and stuff. So I try not to knit on it for too much of an extended period, but I'm also very like excited about it, so sometimes I don't take my own advice. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this. A lot of people said on Ravelry that it was very fast, especially because of the stitch patterns, because it's like very clearly like delineated like sections. You sort of get through it like a bit faster because you're like, oh, I'll just finish this section, or I'll just do another repeat of the pattern or whatever. So I've found the same thing as well. It is going quite fast. I didn't think I would have this much progress. What's the date today? Oh, it's the 9th. So it's about a week and a half, I guess. And I think I'm doing really well. very excited to wear this one, so that helps because I'm like knitting on it a lot. But yes, I think I only have one more sort of pattern section on the body, and then I'll start the ribbing. Before I start that, I will try it on just to make sure it's long enough. If you're not familiar with this pattern, the way that you construct it is, first of all, you cast on for the back. So you cast on sort of this general area here with the moss stitch part, and you create this sort of trapeze. And then what she has you do is, you pick up stitches along the shoulder line and you knit this section here, I think, this moss stitch, or maybe a little bit more, I can't remember. And then you also pick up for the other shoulder and then knit that part, and then you join, yes, once you're at the neck, then you join these together and cast on extra stitches with a backwards loop here, and then you work flat for the front yoke. So yes, I guess it's also worked flat on the back until you get to the bottom of the armhole, and then once you are at that part on the front as well, then you join in the round and you're away. And then it's easy, you know, because you're just working in the round, although it does feel like it's going a lot slower now that I have both back and front together, because it's quite a lot of stitches. Not like a crazy amount. I think I've got about 230 maybe, or maybe a little bit less. It does take a little while to get through the whole round, so. But this is the first time I've worked on the lattice, this sort of lattice pattern. I really love how this is working out. Like, it's really, I just think it's like really magical the way that you can create this like stitch that sort of sits on top of the rest. I think it's very cool. Really like that. I was a little bit worried about my color choice of being navy. So in my head I had this sort of image of just a really nice like navy Ingrid, and I felt like it would work, but I wasn't entirely sure. I wasn't sure that you would be able to see like stitch definition well enough, or it just wouldn't come out looking very nice. But now that I can see, you know, as much progress as I have, I think it's absolutely fine. I'm really excited to wear this. I think it will look really nice with, you know, just like a really simple like gold necklace. Yeah, jeans or whatever. It's really freezing right now in my house, so excited to have a really nice warm cozy jumper. The one thing I will say about this color choice though is that it does seem to show up all of the like lint that this jumper seems to pick up a lot of lint, I guess because of the mohair. So you can see I've got like a little bit here, and for some reason lint always seems to be like light color, so it's showing up really well on this jumper. So that is the only like downside, but it's fine. I've got a little like lint roller thingamajig, so I'll just run that over. Hopefully it won't pull up too much mohair. But yeah, so I'm making very good progress on this. I expect I'll probably finish the body, I don't know, maybe next week. Depends how much I knit on it. Maybe earlier than that. And then I think I'll probably do the collar before I bind off for the bottom of the body, just so that I can make sure that it's a good size, good length. And then I will do the arms. And yes. Very excited for this one. Can't wait for this to be finished. Hopefully I've got enough yarn, because it really does eat through a lot of this heavy merino. But I'll just have to order more if I don't. That's really kind of what I'm working on mainly. Really excited about it. So it's taking up most of my sort of knitting energy. That's really what I'm thinking about the most at the moment. But I do have a couple of socks. As you can see, I'm making good on my goal to knit like various socks this year, and so the first one that I've cast on this year is the hibernal socks by Summer Lee. Sorry, I just got my notes here. So I'll show it to you. It's just a really nice kind of simple cable pattern, nothing too intense. it's very easy in the pattern. She has it so that the cable pattern is not charted, it's only written. So in the beginning I was like, oh my god, this is impossible. It looks really intense when you just look at it written out in the beginning, but after you do a few rounds of it, like, it's very simple and intuitive to remember. So don't be too afraid if you look at that and think, oh god, it's not that bad. But yeah, it's not actually, sorry, it's not an actual real cable where you sort of move your stitches over or under. It's just a what's it called, you slip the stitch over two others, and that sort of makes a faux sort of cable look. But yeah, I'm excited for these. Just got them on because I thought the pattern was really pretty. I just wanted to try something a little bit more lacy. I mean, it's nothing too intense, but I think it would be pretty. I had this yarn, so this yarn is another from Rodeo Yarn, the indie dyer that's based here in Japan. I bought this ages ago but didn't make anything with it. I think I was thinking about giving this color, my mum really likes this color, so I was thinking about giving this to her, but I think I will probably just try to, like, the first time I make a pattern, I think I will try to use the sock myself and then just see how it goes, and then from there I can make any improvements. So, but yeah, I really like this color of the yarn. It's kind of got like I don't know if this will come up on camera, but it's yellow, well, it's sort of a golden yellow, but also has sort of hints of oranginess in there, so it's very like three-dimensional. Maybe that will, when it catches the light, it's quite, yeah, I really like this color. But it is it's quite softly spun, so like, I don't know if you can see that, but it's quite like springy. So I don't know if that will make for good, well, probably won't make for like long-lasting socks, but we'll see. I might switch to not buying rodeo yarn for socks in the future, depending on how this knits up and how my purple ones do. I'll see. But yeah, I sort of cast these on and got like loads of progress in like maybe a day or two, and then now I'm just knitting on Ingrid all the time, so I haven't been back to these since. But I do like these, very cute. Interested to see what the heel will be. I don't know, I haven't read that far in the pattern yet, so we'll see. But yeah, just a very nice sock pattern. And last of all, this is more of an acquisition. So I bought some opal yarn. This is just their, oops, where is the label? Here it is. This is from Opal brand. It's just their basic sock. I think it's, what is it? 25% nylon, 75% wool. So this is in the color, I believe it's called Petrol. So it's kind of a nice, it's blue, but it's sort of a greeny blue. Not, I mean, there's not a ton, it's not like obviously green, but it's sort of a, I don't know, what would you call it? Maybe like a dark sea green? I don't know. Teal. Teal is what you would call this. I need to work on my color names. I obviously don't have a big enough vocabulary for this, but so I bought this with the intention of, so I saw that This Handmade Life on Instagram has started a knit along for so she has a pattern, it's very cute, it's got like a snowflake along the top, and then I think maybe snow or something along the toe. Just a very simple colorwork sock, and she has a knit along for that at the moment, and I thought that would be fun to take part in. So the example that she has, or the pattern has, very dark sort of navy, and then the snow detailing is white. So I wanted to sort of copy that vibe, which is why I bought this color, but I didn't realize it would be quite as teal as it has turned out to be. So I did cast this on. with the intention of just kind of rolling with it, and I'm sure it would look fine. So this is as far as I've got. I decided that I would make a folded over cuff, which is why the pattern has you do rib up here, I think, but I decided that I would knit just a longer cuff and then fold it over, and I just wanted to try that out. Yeah, I don't know, like when I was knitting it up, sorry, I've got like needles and thread everywhere, but as I was knitting, like the more I knit, the more I felt like this just wasn't the right color. It's just not, it's just too teal, you know? It's just not giving me like nighttime sky vibes, especially not in winter with like snow. So I mean, I think it would look fine, but I want to use this for something else. There is, I can't remember who did it. It was either This Handmade Life or Stone Knits, but there's like a sock pattern with toadstools. I really want to make that, and I just feel like this would be absolutely amazing with the contrast, like red for the toadstool. So I think I'm gonna put this to the side. I am gonna use it, but I'm gonna use it for a different pattern because I think the color matching would look a lot better. So I have ordered another ball of yarn, which is hopefully more of a navy. Oh no, actually I think it wasn't, in the end I couldn't find a good enough colour, so I decided to go for a cream and then have like snow be dark grey. Oh, I can't remember exactly what I've ordered. But yeah, I decided to do something else. I did want to do the navy, but I just couldn't find a good enough sock yarn. I find it quite hard to find like single, like solid colour sock yarn here in Japan. I don't know what it is, but it seems like it's just much more common to find variegated or self-striping yarn here. Anyway, I decided to pivot on this one, going for a different colour scheme, but that knit along is running for the month of January, so I still have plenty of time. Once that new yarn arrives, I will probably cast that on and just put the simile, what's it called, hibernal socks to the side, probably for a while. I don't know when I'll get back to that. Probably after I finish the knit along socks, the snowynightskal socks, and my Ingrid sweater. So yeah, it's on the back burner, but we'll see. I do really like this colour though. I think it's so pretty. So I'm really excited to make the toadstool socks with this. And I think my mum would really like them, so we'll see. Anyway, that is that, and I think that's everything that I had to show you guys. Yes, so thank you for listening. Thanks for staying to the end of the video. Let me know if you've got any comments. I'll try to put a link to everything that I talked about in the description. But yeah, feel free to follow me. I do have an Instagram account. I think it's @casuallyknit if you feel like seeing what I'm up to. Hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one, and thanks for listening. Bye!